This is Soggy Nachos Podcast. My name is Janelle, got my man Charlie, got my man Frank with me, and we have You're an Idiot. This time it doesn't go to a full team. We want to give it to a specific coach, Arthur Smith of the Atlanta Falcons. Shout out to my man Sweets, man. Biggest Falcons fan I know. But anyways, we're not getting into that. What we are going to say is Arthur Smith is like, okay, we know coach is not supposed to care about fantasy, right? But it's like he does it on purpose to his own detriment. Like he does it on. First of all, let me just be frank for a second. Like, because Frank is gonna get to this part as part of his soliloquy, but I'm gonna take part of it. They came into the season with Ritter as their number one quarterback. Ritter as their number one quarterback. I don't know that I need to go much further than that. And I definitely don't, because you see, this idiot wasn't my idea. This idiot came from somebody who wanted to give him the idiot for a long time now. And that being said, the floor is yours, sir.
Jonnu Smith and Cordero Patterson. What? Jonnu Smith and Cordero Patterson are essential cogs for Arthur Smith to run his offense. Idiot. I rest my case, Your Honor. The draft capital they've spent at those specific two positions, Kyle Pitts at 4 and Bijan Robinson at 8, and he goes to Cordero Patterson and Jonnu Smith. I lack words to describe how idiotic this is. This is the bottom tier level of intelligence. Get the good players you have, the brown thing that y'all play with. Like the football, get the good one, get the football to the good guys, and the Jonnu Smiths, leave them in free agency or let them block, or like roster depth. Like can't explain Cordero Patterson getting consistent touches. That makes no sense because you have two other running backs. You have two of them. Like Tyler Algier is also good at football. I don't know, man. Maybe it shouldn't be Arthur Smith because it might be Arthur Blank. Maybe we got the wrong Arthur because they're already saying that Arthur Smith's job is secure. How is that possible? How can you be sure you're bringing Arthur Smith back? And if you're sure, you're the idiot. I'm sorry.
Charlie, you forgot about Drake. You didn't mention Drake.
He doesn't throw to it. What does it matter?
Maybe that thing's not going to burp. You got to get it out of your hand.
Well, he gets rid of this one pretty quickly, and Drake London is able to hold on after being twisted around. His first catch of the day.
He'd have to have a quarterback for that. You can't mention. Come on now. Like this idiot is a weird one because it probably hasn't come up because they've won a fair amount of games for a team as horrifyingly bad as they are. You know, it's funny because I do a lot of when I'm picking games and I'm analyzing why I'm going to pick a team. Every time Atlanta is favored, I'm confused and I'm curious and I'm like, why? I don't understand why they're favored ever. And then they mess around and win sometimes, and I'm just confused as to why, because even when you watch how they play, you're like, what is going on here? If you watched Atlanta last year, you saw that Tyler Algier was a good running back. And I don't necessarily think that you would need another one. Yeah, a good, that's a weird term, but it's a certain one that's functional, right? And if you're going to run this team the way you do, why draft Bijan Robinson? Why draft that guy to do this? You already had Tyler Algier. If you wanted to do this weird stuff, you didn't need this because it's weird. I remember going into the season, one of the things fantasy-wise, I was like, you know what? Atlanta has a really good offensive line. They have a coach that is living in 1970 and wants to run the ball all the time. You know what I'm saying? They got this really dynamic running back. Okay, he's going to go off because he's just going to give him the ball. And he doesn't. You can't make sense of it because it's what are you trying to do? Are you trying to preserve him? Are you trying to confuse someone? I don't think running is a confusing, someone type of a situation. You don't have a quarterback. We don't think you're going to throw. What exactly are you doing? What are you trying to do? What is the point of this? And it's what Charlie talks about, Cordero Patterson getting consistent touches. It's are you trying to keep someone fresh for something that we don't know about? I am thoroughly confused as to what is happening here. And it's just like it defies logic because it's like you spend this kind of draft capital to not use guys that are really good at what it is they do. Like playmakers make plays. Like we all know this. I ignore plenty of character flaws because I'm like, that guy can do football stuff. You know what I'm saying? He can do this stuff on the field, so I don't care what he's like. But if you're not going to use him, then I don't really know what we're talking about here. Why draft him?
We can fire Arthur Smith. He'll be okay. His dad owns FedEx, like not FedEx Field, like FedEx. Like he'll be all right.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that. But dog, yeah, he got to get the idiot, man. And then Frank, I know we talk about his quarterback, and then who's his backup? Just in case of emergency.
Just in case a fire breaks out, you got Tyler
Heineke.
I'm done, man. Anyways, this has been Soggy Nachos Podcast. Thanks for listening. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell somebody about us.